Episode 2, What If Nothing Is Wrong? I went to bed on day 1 with like a tiny crack. Not an answer, not a breakthrough, not anything I could point to and say, there it is, that's the thing. Just a tiny little crack, a loosening in a story that I've been telling myself for so long. I'd actually stopped noticing it was a story. The question I'd been asking all day was, what is wrong? What is missing? What is the goddamn block? And the crack that appeared was a different question entirely. What if I'm asking the wrong question? And when I came back on day 2 with Manifest AI, I was not asked to look for patterns or wounds or things that I hadn't healed yet. I was asked to do something I found far more uncomfortable than any of that. I was asked to look at the actual evidence, not the story I was telling myself about the evidence, the facts. And the first fact was this. I'd messaged over 500 people for my masterclass, DM'd them, and I'd spent hours on it. I'd crafted different messages, text messages, voice messages, video messages. I'd followed them up. I'd done everything I needed to do. And I got 2 sign-ups, not from the messages, from people who had already worked with me before. Now, here is the story I'd been telling myself about that. Something is wrong. Something is missing. I'm not doing something. The block must be here somewhere. What came back stopped me, because this isn't a manifestation problem. This is a distribution problem, and those are not the same thing. A manifestation problem says something is wrong with me. A distribution problem says something is wrong with the channel. And when I looked at it that way, something in me shifted, because the evidence of what happens when people actually experience the work was everywhere. A membership member had messaged me to say she couldn't believe she was the only one there at the moment. The value was extraordinary, and she may actually come on my masterclass to tell you about it. Clients were being transformed. People who experienced me kept coming back, and every piece of feedback I've ever received says the same thing. I've held such beautiful space. They felt so safe with me. The way I was with them, the calmness of my voice, not the methods, not the frameworks, me. And I had been trying to communicate that in a text message, going into a folder that nobody ever opens. My gift is not a text message. Some people are absolutely phenomenal content creators. Some people walk into a room, open their mouth, and people immediately get what they're about. I am the second type. And somewhere in that conversation, I said something out loud that I immediately caught myself on. I said, it's difficult out there. And then I stopped and I changed it. No, the game has changed. These sound almost the same, but they are not. One is heavy. One is strategic. One says, I'm struggling. One says, I need to adapt. And the adaptation was not about working harder or sending more messages or forcing myself to keep doing things that were draining every ounce of energy that was supposed to be building. It was about something much simpler than that. Stop trying to convince people. Start creating opportunities for people to experience me. There was a conversation that day about someone I'd watched on a masterclass, on an event, and someone who I became keen to work with. And I was asked what actually created that feeling. Was it the 7th touch point? Was it the follow-up message? No. It was trust. I had experienced him over and over on those 6 days. He was showing up, giving value, being consistent, being real. By the time he even made an offer, the question of whether to trust him had already been answered long before. The 7 touch points did not create the sale. The 7 touch points created the trust. And I already knew how to create trust. I've been doing it with every client who ever worked with me. I have just not been doing it in the places where the people who need to find me could actually find me. By the end of day 2, the question had changed. Not what is wrong with me, not even what is missing, but something I had never quite asked myself before. How do I get more people into the room? Now this is a business question, not a healing question, not a spiritual question, It's a practical, solvable, completely ordinary business question. And it feels lighter than anything that I'd asked myself in such a long time. I still don't know where any of this is going. I still thought I was looking for the missing piece. I just had a new version of the question. And sometimes that is all you need to take you on the next step. If this is resonating with you, I would love you to come to my free masterclass. If this is resonating and you want to come and experience what happens when you stop looking for what is wrong and start seeing what is actually there, I have a free 3-day masterclass on the 8th, 9th and 10th of July at 5 p.m. UK time. The link is below and I would absolutely love to see you there.